Good morning, everyone. Today, I'd like to discuss about life in general, life with wisdom, love, beauty, and compassion. So, we'll discuss these things, whatever comes to our mind. Okay. Normally, when I have a discourse like this, I have no plan as what to say or what to discuss, but depending on the evolutionary dynamics of the universe, then we just follow it. Um, there's no I, me, myself, or yourselves, or any things, but it's just communion, uh, just the holistic dynamics of our being all together, so that we can have perfect communion, love, and understanding. Uh, One thing comes to my mind is what is the why human are living with so much conflicts and sufferings. Of course, being in existence in this life, and there are sorrows that follow us like shadows to begin with. But on top of that, because of our ignorance, hatred, greed, and we commit our sinful actions, wrongdoings that add further conflicts on this limited, inadequate life living process. So we live with further miseries of from our actions on top of everything else. What we see in the universe, what we understand, what we can observe, mostly uh, from the physical appearance, or something that we can touch, smell, feel. Uh, so what we see and what we know in the universe is only a fraction, small fraction of the overall wholeness of life, the 0.001%. That's our knowledge. But the universe is so much broader than that. Uh, it's got the 99.999% unknown, you know, in divinity, excellency, highly intelligent, which we can hardly tap into such empty sources, empty source to extract information, intelligence, uh, and most of all, wisdom. So here we, on daily living, we use and we base on our limited knowledge, the fraction of universal knowledge, which is the 0.01%, and operate on the wholeness of life, the 99.99% or the 100%. It's just like a child, starting out in kindergarten or first grade, trying to solve calculus, differential equations, mathematical statistics, of the college level of mathematics, which is absurd, right? How can a child with such a shallow knowledge of mathematics solve such deep questions, yeah, in mathematics at the college level? university level. Of course, he can never do that. So in parallel, it's sort of reflecting the analogy of us being a child with our limited knowledge of 0.01% and trying to answer so many questions in life, in the universe, the other 99.99%. So we bump into problems when we try to do that. And of course, if we don't have answers or solutions to many problems, technically, psychologically, spiritually, then we begin to enter the twilight zone of conflicts and sorrows. Now, I'm reading a very interesting phrase here. For the one who is moderate in eating, recreation, working, sleeping, and waking, the yoga of meditation destroys all sorrow. And this is the Bhagavad Gita extraction from it. So yes, Eastern wisdom for thousands of years has been mentioning about meditation so that we can destroy our sorrows due to our ignorance, limited knowledge. So the yoga of meditation is to keep the mind in equilibrium, in silence, in emptiness. And only when the mind is silent that we can merge, we can immerse into the emptiness, the unknown of the universe. But if the mind is too busy with all the worries, the conflicts, the sufferings, then such mind can never penetrate the intelligence, the excellency, the information of the universe. Therefore, in order to look at life as a whole, one's mind needs to be relaxed, needs to be silent, and eventually we can penetrate the silence, the emptiness, and observe the intelligence of the whole evolutionary dynamics of the highly sophisticated dynamical universe, basically. Meditation is very simple and yet at the same time very complex if one is involved in the process of greed, hatred, and ignorance. When a mind has those qualities, then forever it can never be quiet. Therefore, meditation will be very complex, very hard to accomplish. It's just a simple logic, that's all. And most of humanity, 99.9% of all of us, one way or another, one form or another, we have those negative characteristics in our thoughts, in our thinking, in our mind that prevent us from having a deep meditation and have our insights into the depth, the great depth of intelligence, of the wholeness of life, of existence. And from such minds, with those negative qualities, we start to invent many systems of meditation, try to harden the thinking, try to squeeze and control the thought process, try concentration, try repeating mantra, various ways to quiet the mind. But as the mind has such crowded negative thoughts, with deep ignorance, that no matter what one does, it will never be quiet for a good quality of meditation, the true meditation. Then the whole process of meditation has become very complex, very hard to accomplish. And that's just a simple logic behind all this. But if one gains insight into the wisdom of life, of the living process, and look at whole humanity, the whole existence of all matters in the universe and beyond, with love and compassion, which is the foundation of a divine being. So when we understand love and compassion, then greed, hatred, and ignorance, in a sense, they will naturally disappear. Because when we have love for one another, we have love for humanity, we have love for the whole universe, with great compassion, we can become selfless, and without the limited and inadequacies of self. That ignorance just has no place to be around us, but disappearing. And without the presence of ignorance, the mind has a great silence quality to it. So it will naturally enter the quiet zone of meditation. So without seeking for any solutions, without seeking for wisdom, without seeking for enlightenment, without seeking for anything, then that's the truly silent mind of the universal consciousness. Totally empty, totally silent, totally void. So from such a highly divine mind of great silence, sacred emptiness, then one has the deep insight into the wholeness of life, of the living process, of death, death here psychologically, meaning the silence of the mind, silence of thoughts. One thought is gone, then the mind has no past, no future, no present, has no evolution, no destiny. And this is the positive quality of timelessness. So the mind is operating outside of time, or within the space of time, doesn't matter. But it has the total wholeness and independent of time as necessary. Then the 99.99% unknown intelligence of the universe naturally immersed into such mind. Such a beautiful mind would guide all the actions, sunny actions. So all the conflicts and sufferings would be minimized in one's life. Very simple logic. And in that sense, meditation is becoming something very light, very comfortable, very peaceful, and very simple process that one does not need any type of invented systems to meditate or try to learn it from any gurus, any teachers, the so-called quote unquote. So meditation is the highest art in life, perhaps the greatest arts in life. Meditation is a way to universal consciousness, universal wisdom, and divine enlightenment. Without meditation, love and compassion, humanity would live in misery. In time, it is an endless process. Another very interesting phrase that I see Jesus Christ. He said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Oh, from time to time, I would just look at things randomly on my other laptop, and I would just talk about the essential quality of such wisdom from the enlightened beings of the past. So the kingdom of God is within you. Basically, that's the godly nature within us, the Christ nature within us, the Buddha nature within us. So basically, we are the children of God, of the universe, and inherently, we have those qualities in our heart, mind, and spirit naturally for millennia since the day we were born and beyond. But because of the sufferings from ignorance, living with so many conflicts, we have suppressed our God nature, Buddha nature, Christ nature within us and become a blind person walking on the surface of this planet. So basically, when the mind understands all this and has become quiet, then the God nature, Christ or Buddha nature within us will shine forth and enlighten our mind with great wisdom. And that's very simple, very simple insight that one needs to see. Another interesting wisdom from the Bodhidharma. To see nothing is to perceive the way, and to understand nothing is to know the Dharma. Dharma meaning wisdom. Because seeing is neither seeing nor not seeing, and because understanding is neither understanding nor not understanding. This is such a great wisdom from the Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma is the first patriarch of the Chinese meditation lineage, and he came from India and brought the Buddhist meditation as well as Kung Fu into China. The sixth patriarch of this lineage is the Hui name, but the first one is Bodhidharma. So why did he say this? To perceive the way is to understand the wisdom of the universe. So to see nothing is to perceive the way. Okay. And this is in parallel with meditation, because when thoughts have subsided, then there's nothing to think about. There's nothing to see. And that's why when thought is silent, there's nothing to see. And that's truly the perception of the Dharma, of wisdom, of the way. Similarly, he said, to understand nothing is to know the Dharma. That is, to understand nothing is to see the wisdom of the universe. Basically, that's the complementary remarks as seeing nothing. So once the mind is quiet, then we don't need any logic to understand. Because all the understanding, all the logic, all the reasonings are embedded within the emptiness of God nature. That is the emptiness in our essential Christ and Buddha nature would have all the answers. So there's nothing to question about. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to understand. And he went on and said, because seeing is neither seeing or not seeing, and because understanding is neither understanding nor not understanding. That is, we have gone beyond the thought process. We no longer slavery of thoughts, of words, of logic, of all the things which have been invented by humanity for many thousands of years, since the dawn of time. Well, anyway, mm, there's another long phrase from Krishnamurti. This one is very interesting. A religious mind is free of all authority. And it is extremely difficult to be free from authority, not only the authority imposed by another, but also the authority of the experience that one has gathered, which is of the past, which is tradition. And the religious mind has no beliefs, has no dogmas. It moves from fact to fact, and therefore the religious mind is the scientific mind. But the scientific mind is not the religious mind. The religious mind includes the scientific mind, but the mind that is trained in the knowledge of science is not a religious mind. Basically, if our mind is free of all authority, being free from all the knowledge, experience that we had gathered from the past, from the tradition, from the conditioning, from society. That is, this is similar. It's basically talk about a meditative mind. A meditative mind is free of thoughts, of authority, of beliefs, of reasonings, of logic, and so on. And being free from all those things, then the mind has come to the highest quality of deep insight, which can penetrate the 99% of the unknown universe spiritually, which leads to a life divine, a beautiful uh, perception of the whole dynamics of the universe. So basically, Krishnamurti said the same thing that I've been discussing with you all. So of course we will have many discussions in subsequent videos, but I'd like to stop our discussion here, and I wish you all have a very beautiful day, happiness, uh, with peace, love, understanding, and see the beauty of existence. So, bye bye now.